Hi, y'all. So, yesterday I was watching TikTok and I ran across a live that this lady was doing. And she was basically talking about how, as a medical courier, all you need is a driver's license and you do not need an LLC. And that people were saying that you need an LLC and it's unnecessary and it's an unnecessary step and blah, 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 blah. And so, what I want to tell y'all is to be careful what you consume on social media because there's a lot of people out here giving misinformation. Okay. So, that's first thing. Second thing is do your own research. Even with what I tell you, do your research because these people will set you up to fail. And because I'm looking at this live and I'm looking at thousands of people with the rah-rahs and this, that, and the third. And girl, I knew I didn't have to do all of that and all of that. So I'm going to give you some scenarios and then I'm going to give you some factual information that I found. Okay. When you set up your business as a medical courier, and this is much different than running a box truck business in my opinion because the exposure is much greater for some if something should happen. Okay, if you run this business as a sole proprietorship, which means you're running it under your social, and something happens, you are personally liable and your personal assets can be garnished and seized because that contract is between the company that you're working with and you as an individual. Okay, when you have an LLC, that gives you a shield of protection if something should happen. So if something should happen and you get sued, the LLC is sued, not you. So with a sole proprietorship, they can sue you and put a lien or seize your personal assets, current and future. Okay? With an LLC, the only thing that's exposed is what the value and assets of the LLC, not your personal assets. All right? The other big thing, you're required to have general liability insurance. With general liability insurance, that covers like slip and falls, stuff like that, right? What people don't tell you as a medical courier is that you need to have E&O insurance, which is called errors and omissions. Errors and omissions covers, let's just say you mishandle the specimen and now the specimen isn't any good. Let's just say you're transporting a heart and you have an accident or you go to Popeyes and something happens with the temperature and then the heart dies and the heart isn't any good and that was the only heart, so now this person can't get a heart and they sue you. That's covered by errors and omissions. That's not covered by general liability. Okay, and I should have prefaced this entire conversation by saying I've spent my entire career in insurance. I'm a licensed insurance agent. I know insurance and I know risk. And so when you're listening to these people on social media giving you the incorrect information and then you go out there and do something that's going to have a long-term, lifelong effect on you and your business, this is why you have to do your due diligence to fact check what people tell y'all on social media, because I couldn't believe that girl was telling people that. Because if something happens to a specimen that you are transporting and you're not properly insured, or you're running it as a sole proprietorship and someone sues you because that was a heart or a liver for their child and somebody dies, it's a whole big problem. So I would ask y'all to be very serious. If you're doing this medical courier stuff, make sure that you are set up correctly. Make sure that you have the proper insurance because anything could happen. And after it happens is not the time to be trying to figure out what you're going to do about it. You have to be properly insured to make sure that this risk is removed from you personally and that whatever happens is covered under insurance and that you have the proper insurance if something should happen. But do your research and make sure you fact check.